often from the defender's side. You see 3 initially stack up over towards Hookah. Occasionally you see it out over towards Long as well. And just like this aggression right off the bat from the defender, just like started to become a normal part of play. And this time it's not working great for the defenders. Tucker has already managed to pick off one of the vital members of the defense side. And just because of that, now the defenders are going to be working from the back foot.
Duck there, trying to pick up one on his own, but after getting scanned out, they're going to be able to see his swing as he tries to go and get aggressive. Tucker will quickly dispatch of him. That's already 2 defenders down here. And a great start for the spot up roster here, as they're going to be trying to take control of B. Although it's not fully committed to that just yet, you may notice. They're in fact going to jump through out on pistol round too. They're going to try and go for this, jumping through the portal with 3 players. So the intentions are going to be very obvious to the defenders here now in 303. Rebo tries to hold his own, nearly messes up the kill on TCAP, but still gets the job done. They know exactly where he's at though, so a trade is in the future for that one pretty quickly. But at the same time, Tucker will be able to finish off the round by finding that final pick onto Stealthy.
You know, all things considered, that started out at 5v4, and it wasn't half bad how they managed to recover from it, especially since they're kind of caught off guard by that immediate rotation out over towards A. You know, not the worst result in the world, considering the defenders, again, were playing from the back foot. But heading into this next one, it probably is going to be a bit more of a freebie, a little bit of an easier time for the side of Spot Up, and should be that 2-0 start that we are expecting to see after winning the pistol.
Yeah, full save coming in for the defenders right now on 303, so not going to be much of an opportunity for them to find impact here. With that said, we have seen some upsets on these rounds, so they don't never just yet. Jack can try to move out here and find one on his own, but cannot get the lineup. It seems as though other players on the defensive side here for 303 have had massive degrees of success. In fact, they take the advantage off of that initial duel due to the double kill that was picked up.
That changes everything up now. Again, we've seen a couple of instances where these defensive rounds have, you know, they've been massive despite lackluster artillery. And, well, although they have a big advantage still in their hands right here, they're starting to throw it away. There's only one player committed out over towards Hookah, Mirari, and they're taken out within an instant. The defense completely split up now and going to be kind of playing from behind once more. Sure, they have this innate man advantage, but with pistols, it's going to be so difficult to actually overcome and take down Spot Up despite that initial amazing lead that they had going for them.
Planted the spike
and shuts the paint shield. Yeah, paint shills end up in a pretty good position to try and deal damage here. Rebo finds the next frag as well. Ara able to push forward though, picks up the next one, but the problem is Ara is all on his lonesome now. Deny the plant. There's the first pickup. Last one would be the diffuser, but Rebo's just sticking it in, is going to be able to complete it before Ara even has a chance to stop it. Ara will pick up that last kill against Rebo, but it's going to matter for not. 303 claim the second round, and we're going to be tied up.
It's a bit one of the stranger rounds I think we've seen this entire time. Just stick in the defuse. That's all you need to do, apparently. It doesn't matter how many bullets you shoot, how many kills you get. 4 versus 2. Sure, it comes down to the wire, and the attackers obviously came out on the back foot of it, but it was relatively close. That's still a lot of damage done. So theoretically, I feel like the attackers could, you know, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world if they decide to get up a couple of pistols and try to force a hand, because the economy isn't great right now for the CT side. Or the defender side, I should say. Wrong game.
Got Stealthy with the pickup there against Bunny, so another great start for the defending squad here. 303 is going to be able to get that rolling for themselves. And meanwhile, Ara tries to go a little bit aggro out from Long. So does Figment from the inside of Hookah. But besides TCAP's pickup here from the Sheriff, unfortunately, it's not going to be too successful to lose 2 of their players for that trade. And even more now as they're trying to challenge once again from Hookah. Mirai is going to be able to get the next find. It's just on a TCAP at this point in the 1vx, trying his best to isolate out even just one of these duels, if that's going to be an option due to the headshot capability. The Sheriff very close on that pick. Again, actually, he does connect the shot right there, but the push is coming against his backside here any moment now, and that will more than likely be his downside. He's aware of it, however. That's the thing. He knows it's coming behind him. He just doesn't know when it's coming. And that will, yeah, lead to his demise there. Almost had the knife take him out, too. But Jackie Boy managed to get the shot in from the Vandal just before that knife sunk itself into the back of the last player alive.
Kind of messed up. You can never deny a knife opportunity like that. They're so rare in Valorant. Like, the hit reg on those things are terrible.
Yeah.
Like, even when I'm behind someone, I don't go for a knife just because the options, they're limited if you miss it. Because they're going to hear you, they're going to make a ton of noise. I'm going to lose a round off that, knowing my luck. But hey, nonetheless, the conversion will come through. The attackers, again, knock down a peg. But they're still going to go ahead and try to afford another buy into this, and they have an op to show for it as well. This isn't going to be half bad, and maybe we can see Spot Up get right back into it.
Spot Up, of course, looking to try and get themselves in from the back foot. It's going to be a good start as Bunny lines up that kill against Stealthy. Stealthy with an unfortunate miss from the operator spells his own doom and leads to the elimination of that player, bringing us down into a 5v4. TCAP and the rest of the players here having an advantage to work with. They're going to try and push their way in onto A short here. Rebo's going to get forced out, and instead will jump into the action, but that sends him right into Tucker's spray line. So Rebo, he finished off of that after taking some damage from the orbital strike. Response will come in the meantime, as we see Jackie Boy pushing into showers to fend off a push from the Brimstone on the other team. In the meanwhile, the remaining players on the attacking side decide to shift through the mid portal and change this up into a B hit. Successfully deployed as well, as the last two for the defending side for 303 here really don't have much of an option to retake now, as they catch on to that far too late.
Already, we're 3 rounds into it, or 4 if you count this one, but we've seen the teleporter be used for fakes a couple of times, and I mean, I think I really start to understand why they chose Bind. I'm pretty certain that it came down to a coin toss, but maybe they're counting their lucky stars that they got the map that has those teleporters and makes these kind of plays possible, because they are using them, they are abusing them, and they are getting fantastic results out of it. It's going to be now evened up once more. And I think just because of that alone, the attackers are going to find themselves in a very comfortable place. They're not going to be losing that many guns, and their economy is going to be looking so much better because of it.
It's a good start to the comeback now to try and tie things up, and more importantly, keep this match very close. On the attackers' side here, more than likely they're going to want to try and keep things as even as possible. Obviously, if they can take a lead, that'll be even better, but if they end up around 6-6 or something close to that, will more than likely be satisfied with that type of a scoreline coming off this attacking half here, especially with the way that things had started out for them.
Yeah, there's not all too much to write home about how that round actually finished up, to be completely honest. It was just a nice little teleporter fake, but I mean, the lead for that entire time as soon as they took down that Opper. Speaking of ops, there's actually a double setup between Stealthy and Mirari wielding the snipers here, and because of that, it could be easily punished. Actually, the aggression comes from our boy Jackie, or Jackie boy. He's
gonna work his
right off of that.
Yeah, work his way out there, finds a nice, pretty much a free kill, unfortunately, against the Sova, as he was still locked in the animation, recovering from the death of his drone. So not much that he can really do about that one there. Aura, in the meanwhile, is going to get to sneak past the smoke that was just deployed at Garden for free while one of his teammates takes the orb. That orb would have been great to try and fish another player from 303 out, but no one's really nearby enough to challenge that, so that type of situation just doesn't really end up lining up. And meanwhile, though, Cyber Cage is thrown out. Mirai so close to a lineup here if he wanted to try and go for the bang. Not going to take a chance on it, though. Obviously, again, he does not see those outlines. Tucker, in the meanwhile, out onto the site, but Softon finds the first kill from inside of the site box and will successfully defend against the following push from Tucker. The Opper further back in sight also picks up another player, so it all goes down to TCAP now in the 1 versus 5. Obviously not expecting much to come out from this one. TCAP's going to try to rotate, but will already be met with a challenger. Rebo back out by the attacker spawn, so that'll be a flawless defense put up by 303.
Very confident round. Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, obviously flawless, but just off of that alone, you know, the fact that the Cypher had the gall to actually push in that 1 versus 5, like, I know it's a 1 versus 5, but we saw a couple of times pass. I think Spot Up even got punished for trying to chase down with that one last player, and I don't know. If you can take duels like that and not be afraid of them whatsoever, I think it at least spells good things to come. And aggression down mid as well seems to be, again, coming into play. Another thing to mention.
If Rebo's able to sneak off an early kill here, he could also go for a very early neural theft too, to try to figure out where the hit's coming from. He's got that option available to him now. Most of the defenders on 303 actually have their ults available, so they've got some great capability to use their abilities to turn these rounds back on their heels if they end up getting put into a bad spot, or if they just want to really try and shut something down to make sure that it's completely on their side. They've got that option for everybody except for Sova at this point.
Now they're going to be trying to wait for some contact made by Bunny before they actually go for an exec here, but there is a lot of good that the attackers have at the moment. This is some incredible map control. Pretty much everything but Long is securely in their hands, but they've lost that. Sugoi, the Sage going down first, is actually a huge blow. No more heals and no res, more importantly.
In a moment, we'll more than likely start to see the follow through on this one. But yeah, as you mentioned, there might be a little bit more delay due to the loss of the Sage. However, time is going to force these players out any second now. Figment will be the first to work himself out into long and garden. He'll be pushing that alone. You should note that the spike is still down way in the connector between mid and long as well. B, so they still have to send someone back to get that. Sauceton just goes in with the showstopper. Not only does it stop the show, it stops the execute as well, with Rebo coming out into market to find the last frag onto Bunny.
That ultimate is so stupid, man. He didn't even know where the other player was. He only saw that enemy raise, I believe. But hey, you know what? Indeed, they stopped the show, and because of that, they can continue their victory. They've gotten, what now? They've gotten 2 in a row. It's not half bad. They've broken the economy of the attackers, which I think is probably the more important point to, I guess, keep an eye on. But 4 ultimates for the attackers. I think they actually might commit a decent amount to make this one work out. The Raze ultimate is one I'm more interested in than I think anything else here.
Definitely a big factor to be able to turn around these types of situations, and more importantly, for the attackers here, open up an initiation if they want to try and go for one. Tucker is contemplating it now. All this real estate's been free so far. They're going to be able to walk up with no pressure thrown at them at the moment by the defenders. Rebo will be the first to try and fight anything at all as he works his way into the inside of Lamps, but even he's going to have to fall back here as the plant's going to work its way in, and this is what they were waiting for here. Orbital Strike goes out to deny the plant. TCAP also going to get dropped. I believe that was the spike here. No, wrong on that. It's Figment instead that's carrying it into battle this time. He's going to try to go for the plant. Neural Theft comes out, and quickly after that, we see kills being rounded up for the defenders left and right. The spike does go on the ground, so our attackers will get the bonus money from that, but besides that, it's another flawless defense from 303.
It's so patiently played as well. I mean, as he mentioned, as that execute was happening, they gave up so much map real estate. You know, they're completely conceding the A bomb site, and they allowed, for the most part, to get that bomb down relatively secure. They tossed into Orbital Strike, but that's really about it. Otherwise, you're like, you know, you can go ahead and have that. We'll still be flawless on our retake, and hey, they lived up to that for sure.
In a very big way. 303 really starting to take control of the scoreline here now. We will need to see some adjustment come in very quickly here. This is going to be a very aggressive nade from Sauceton early on if it gets chucked out here. No reason why it wouldn't, but they may be waiting for intel to follow that one up.
Oh, okay, that didn't work out for them.
We're kind of wondering what that was for. Either way, Showstopper going to be used by Tucker. He tries to go for the player that is now retreating way back into defender spawn, but no, the player will be up at heaven instead. It'll just be a 1-for-1 exchange. The defender, or excuse me, the attackers here are also going to lose another one from Spot Up as they work their way back in. Stealthy trying to recommit himself to the site, but he is blocked off by a wall, and it's not the easiest thing to take down for him when you consider he's working with the operator from that side. Uri will be caught out with some poor timing, will be unscoped when the battle comes his way. Tucker will definitely capitalize on that one. Not only will he find the first kill, Jackie Boy is going to fall shortly after that one. All this time going by the way, and the defenders losing more and more of it that they need to get onto the spike and defuse. Sauceton hopefully going to complete this wrap and surprise. Yes, he does. Takes out Tucker, finally ending his spree. And Stealthy, very stealthy himself, finally sneaks out, but no, is shut down by the Hunter's Fury from Figment. Sauceton picks up one more kill there, trying to go for the defuse, and this is actually going to work as the Hunter's Fury ran out. He's not going to be able to, no, he does actually get there just in time. Because of the plant positioning, Sauceton will be exposed, and the attackers will close it out.
Wow, he even grabbed the op towards the end of it. Surprisingly, that felt like the most important and maybe the most flashy part of it. Seriously, the Hunter's Fury is so good for denying bomb diffuses, and really there's not much that you can do except wait it out. And that's what makes it so difficult to play against. It's just one of those things that you're so non-committal with, you know? There's also the Orbital Strike. That's an obvious spike diffuse stopper right there. But, I mean, hey, the Hunter's Fury, zero commitment, but still was able to zone out, buy enough time to actually stop the diffuse once they actually stuck it after the fact. And it's a winning recipe, if just barely.
Just manages to allow them to sneak off a win there. More importantly, brings them back into the fold as the scoreline was starting to run away from them a little bit. 303 so far taking some good control in the defensive half of this map. Wanting to certainly continue that, but last round proving to be just a little bit too much for them to handle. That could be the first to be challenged from 303 this time, as he's going to be spotted out by the Boombot. So quickly has to fall back to give him some paint shells at the doorway just to assist. And TCAP seems to have spotted a player, was given enough information to try and take a shot from long. Doesn't look like anything connected though. All 5 players in the defense still at full HP right now. Gonna get smoked out now as well. However, they won't care too much about that. TCAP is gonna push right past it. It looks like the rest of the team is ready to move out through hookah too.
It's the calm before the storm, but eventually the storm will hit, and it's only going to be good for one here. But still, remaining underneath the window is Jackie Boy. They haven't paid attention to him whatsoever. And again, there's just barely any time to breathe before the exec comes in at full force. Many ultimates popped, but not exactly the results that they're looking for from it. Although the fall has come through, still the attackers stand tall. They're struggling, they're struggling to stay on their feet, but they're in it nonetheless here. 1 versus 2 for Mirari to somehow come out on top of, but I don't see it happening, Blue.
Mirari looking for the best way to initiate. He's got a good idea as to where the Sage is positioned. Fortunately, the Cypher is a little bit more of a mystery, although he has the right idea right now. Assumes it's long. There's the first pickup. The attempt at the trade to come in from Aura is not going to be immediately there. We'll get the combat stim onto the ground. Starts working on the defuse right here. Can easily get a tap. He's got to be careful of spam through the box, though. And that is ultimately what will kill him. Aura has that lineup to take him out. And our attackers here will pick up another round, closing the gap to only a 1-round advantage, currently to 303.
Seems like this is the most competitive game we've seen so far, at least when it comes to those rounds. I mean, how many 1v1s has this come down to so far, just in this short amount of time? I think it's going to be a good recipe for things to come. But apparently lots of recipes being thrown out here, but still no results just yet. Nothing concise, nothing decisive just yet from either team. Just always a little bit of fun. However, we're going to go ahead and try to switch up the recipe again. We're going to go ahead and spice things up, maybe add a little bit of garlic. Metaphorical garlic will, in this case, be Jackie Boy Splash. I have no idea what I was going for when it came to that. It's my best machine impression, but
could have gone with like chili powder or something.
It's probably the best. Garlic is not spicy. I've learned that.
Garlic's just delicious. That's all garlic is.
Oh, it's on my mind, man. It's on my mind.
It's like garlic and onions. Those are like the 2 things that you gotta cook with everything for flavor.
Look, man, I'm not supposed to be eating while playing Valorant. Now it's all that's on my mind, and all that's on the mind of the attackers right now is finding some early intel, but they've really gotten nothing. The full camera commitment from Cypher. He's just been sitting in it for almost a full minute now and hasn't found really anything to go off of, but still the attackers will decide to commit over towards B. It's been kind of their lady luck. Everything that they've gotten so far really has come from this B site for the most part. They're going to try it once more here, but the Jackie Boy side of the defenders will be at the ready for it here. 1-for-1 trade all the way across the board. Aura and Sauceton find the bulk of the kills, and the exec isn't exactly great from the attackers.
Works out enough for them to get onto the site. Post plants are definitely going to be an issue for them here. As you'll note, they're going to be at a distinct lack of just overall denial here. Not a whole lot of smokes either besides the cyber cages, and even worse, Stealthy quickly uses his ultimate, gets the confirmation of the first kill. Aura moves out though, now on the cusp of an ace after finding those 2 kills, but the Molly is gonna take him out as he tries to rush through the door. Mirai denies the ace, gets the 1v1 clutch, and will keep his team at an advantage now, 6-4.
Oh, so close yet so far. That would have been the highlight of the tournament if he actually managed to get that last kill, but I mean, that Molotov hits hard. I actually think a lot of the time you're just kind of zoned out by it. You're actually not dying to it. But if you actually step in that thing for longer than half a second, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah, your health is going to melt pretty quickly past that point, so.
Not like the mollies in CS, but they're learning that the hard way. 6-4, so the defenders will get another one, another notch on the board. It's still relatively close. I think we couldn't have asked for a more competitive game right now.
And away from that, we are going to see a pretty straightforward opener towards B from the attack yet again. Sauceton is going to spot one of those players from the looks of things. A short toss from the nade just goes right into Garden. They'll deny the Owl drone. It probably spotted the Opper close into the site. Sauceton's actually going to jump the boom box a little bit. Mirai will pick up the first defensive kill here, but Tucker will also find one on the paint shells. So attackers are making progress here on working themselves out on the site for spot up, but Jackie denies 2 of them before getting taken out by the shock dart from Figment. Sauceton now still with a good position over on elbow, is going to be able to pick up one more, cannot deny the plant. There's only 1 player left, so as long as all 3 of these players move as a unit, Ara should not be too much of a challenge to take down. And there you have it. Quickly dispatched of a 7th round will be going up on the board for 303.
Good response, you know, nothing too crazy just yet, but officially securing the advantage after this first half. The defenders are looking pretty decent. The retake was clean enough, and sure, Sauceton, he was able to get away with a couple of kills. But, you know, or excuse me, not Sauceton, it was, I think Tucker who got the bulk of the kills in those rounds. It's still not half bad. That's what I'm trying to get across, is that I feel for the most part the attackers can be relatively happy with what they pulled off on that round. Heading into the last, I mean, they're going to need all the money they can get, and that extra $300, it helped actually Sugoi TCAP. I'm just going to call him TCAP. But he now has an op in his hands. Maybe he can go ahead and pull off some magic that we haven't exactly seen quite yet from him, nor anybody just yet.
Joke's
Right,
over.
Space Shell thrown
You're
out
dead.
pretty early here by Sauceton, was trying to hold back the initial push on the backside. And a 1-for-1 exchange actually is going to occur over by, it looks like Showers. You see TCAP picking up one on his own, but exchange is also found by the attackers here. Showstoppers brought out, but it's denied by TCAP. Sauceton doesn't even get a chance to fire that thing. Stealthy in the meanwhile is going to try to swing from Showers to find one, but he has no angles to work with. Paint Shell, the first explosion, is going to take him out. We're going to see a res utilized here since the last round, but TCAP unfortunately peaks a bit too much against the Heaven player while falling back. And off of that, we're going to see a quick rotate work its way over to B for the attackers here. As 303 and the remaining 2 players trying to round back away for the retake here. As Jackie Boy's going to work himself in from hookah, Mirage is going to work himself out from defender spawn route here. Molly goes onto the ground just to confirm he doesn't have someone to his close left. Jackie Boy is going to get spotted and tagged, however, by the camera. That's very bad for his push back out as he's actually being wrapped, although of course he may not realize it yet. And Figment is more supporting the long hold.
Yeah, I mean, he has his, yep, exactly, Hunter's Fairy. Because of that, I mean, that's a so game winner right there. A round changer, whatever fancy phrase you want to use for it, it has done its job. And yeah, pretty anticlimactic way to finish, but the defenders weren't able to pull off any crazy heroics, and it will be 7-5 at the half. And I mean, that was the 3rd time we saw those teleporters get used heavily just to make a full rotation through, and the success rate has been pretty fantastic on it.
Yeah, in this map specifically, those last second rotates through the portal when the initial plan doesn't work out. Normally, that's usually a pretty big fail point for teams. But like you said, the attackers have been thriving in that for some reason. In this match specifically, it's been working out quite well. Either way, those 5 rounds on the attacking side for spot up is not going to be a bad way to start this matchup off. Obviously, again, you guys can see, unfortunately, we're not going to have much of a scoreboard from this point forward. We're just down to that 1v1 again between Sauceton and Ara this time around. But we'll try to keep as good of a tab on the economy and the rest of the kills and whatnot as we can here. So 5 rounds from the attacking side. As long as the pistol goes their way, they're pretty much immediately back into this game at possibly a tied 7-7. But that's the big question here, is can they actually close out on the pistol?
A lot of good things going for them here, but as the conga line begins in over towards U-Haul, Bunny will be at the ready and somehow find 2. The head armor nearly was his downfall there, but luckily it was just enough to keep him alive. He's able to find 2, and the attackers are in a much better place because of it. Sure, the defenders had something to work off of after they got those 2 kills from Bunny, but I mean, still, the attackers, they've been so aggressive, and I think just off of that alone, 303 should be able to close this one out.
Plant going down onto the ground here. Plenty of time already transpired. Our defenders trying to work their way back out, but still being held up, as you saw by the shock darts. Tucker finding at least one to work off of. TCAP getting himself a headshot off against Stealthy, but Stealthy still holds on. Manages to line up the frag against Ara. Sauceton finally takes out Tucker, and now this needs it all onto the Sage here now. TCAP trying to get something done here now for his team. Gets the first kill, needs the second, and it'll be found. Does he have enough time though for this defuse? It was so close, and I think he's got it just barely. Let's see. Yes, he does.
By a hair. Couldn't be closer if he tried to script it. And as you mentioned, Blue, that's exactly what you said that they needed to get back into this spot up. If they win the pistol, they're sure to win the force up, I would hope, at least, considering they're going to have such a massive advantage. And they're right back in this game. It's going to be tied up 7-7, almost surely, but I was proven wrong before. Let's not count their chickens before they hatch, I suppose.
And we have already seen one unfortunate turn of events where a team was unable to convert that second round and led to a whole string of rounds for their opponent. So let's hope that that does not happen once again here for our new defending squad. Bunny gonna move out here initially into A short after Actually checking things here and smoking it off. That's not where the push is going to be coming from, though. As you can tell from the minimap, there's a very large stack currently on the outside of Showers, though they're shifting away from that. The Cypher is working his way over towards B to analyze options for an execute in that department. We've also got still quite a few players essentially looking at an A tick. You have to remember, of course, that this is more than likely a full save for the most part here for the attacking squad. So they don't have much of a right to initiate. If they try to take any even duel, it's more than likely not going to go their way unless they happen across one of the players still working with a ghost or, you know, a classic or something like that. We may have not had the entire team upgrade initially, right, as they went into the second round due to how expensive that can be. So as they're going to move in here, though, it is a 2-stack. We've got a whole bunch of Spectres in line to shut these guys down. Sauceton gets the first pickup, but TCAP also comes in on the assist to make sure that Tucker does not get taken out as well. A pretty clean round there on the anti-eco to now tie things up at 7-7.
That was a little bit more of what we were expecting in these second rounds. It's, you know, solid enough. They just want to make a contact play up towards B long, try to get the spike down. It's one of the few things that you can rely on as a valid strat to win the round, but you know, the requirements weren't met. And I think just because of that alone spot up, they're going to be looking good heading into this third. Both teams will be able to buy up as the scoreline, or as the scoreboard might deceive you. Both teams do indeed have all the rifles that they could ever hope for. 7-7 to go.
Rai just kind of holding himself here now, sitting back and waiting to see if there's going to be any aggression coming in from the spot up side of things, but not going to be the case, at least not there. Tucker instead finds success between him and one more of his teammate, their Brimstone, as they try to push their way out from mid and find a successful opening kill. Besides that, nothing else is found, so that's going to be the immediate call for a rotate over towards the B side for everybody. But the other problem is, economy does not look too great right now for our defenders. They are working with just ghosts, as far as I can see on the inside of the site. Maybe one player has a frenzy. Aura immediately under pressure. And we'll see him fall along with Figment in the back site. Just TCAP now, holding himself behind the Radiante box. Trying to see if he can stay alive, but there's already been a rotate call, actually, from the attackers. They're going to swing this back over to A, and the defenders this time are actually going to beat them there. They can molly off the approach, too, and they're going to get caught by a trap wire. Bunny burns out Sauceton. The rest of the team is on the way. Tucker does have a Vandal to try and play off of here, so we could put a bit of a stop to this.
Such an amazing position because of that Vandal alone. He even gets headshot. I think that was a Phantom that Mirari had in his hands, but it's just not quite good enough to convert the kill. And because of that, Tucker is going to be able to have a day at the park. But unfortunately, he has fallen off the slide. He has hurt his leg. 8-7. A bit of an anticlimactic finish.
He flew too close to the sun.
Exactly. He's burned up.
Wings melted.
Thank you. These are the more colorful phrases I was hoping to find.
Thank you. Yeah, we had to bring the Greek mythology into it.
This goes here.
Well, you know, as we try to distance ourselves from the sun, go ahead and take another gander at the scoreboard. Unfortunately, we only have a bit of a preview at what the economy is going to be looking at for both sides, and it seems that they're going to be fully investing into it. If the operator is anything to go by, TCAP, we'll go ahead and yeah, he's just going to aggress. I was going to say some fancy phrase, but no. All it takes is just pressing W right into his crosshair. He's going to be able to find that kill 10 out of 10 times, maybe the second time in a row as well. The double in the round. Things are looking fantastic now for Contenders, as pretty much all that 303 have to go off of right now is, well, actually nothing. They don't even have those ultimates anymore. This is one of the worst spots they could possibly be in.
Yeah, just every fight they've tried to take so far has been beaten by TCAP, and that's going to be no different on the third one, as he's absolutely dominating against these pushers right now. No attempts to swarm TCAP here either, or try to force utility upon him to make him relocate. So he's just been given a bunch of detached 1v1s and has thrived so far in all three of them. Next player to step up to the plate is also going to more than likely have access to an operator, but TCAP's already moved and very much has the correct angle to take the next fight here. It's all on Mirari, whether he can adjust fast enough and, more importantly, predict where TCAP has moved to. And that's why he's up on the box right now. Rebo, in the meantime, way over here on the A site, looking to make some noise and hopefully keep the players here so that in the event Mirari has success, maybe some type of capability to plant can be opened up. But as I'm sure you guys can see, that possibility is looking pretty slim right now, especially with the time getting as low as it is. It looks like they now called for a save. Mirai's not even going to get the chance to, though. It's just going to be on their Cypher to sit back and spawn and save whatever can be carried into the next round.
If he can manage to get that hop back in his hands, that would be huge, but there's no potential whatsoever. Unfortunately, again, we can't quite get a good look at the economy, but I can tell you right now, it's probably not going to be looking too great. Maybe we can see a couple of upgrade pistols, but I'm not expecting any big rifles, Blue, and I think just because of that alone, you might see Spot Up take the lead.
More than likely just going to be a ghost round, I think, out of everybody on the attacking side right now from 303. That, at most, if they don't just go for an outright classic save here, which is definitely seeming like it's the case.
This is just going to be a rough time for them now. I mean, pretty much it's going to be time for TCAP to maybe farm a couple of more kills, but it should be right into the blender, I suppose you can say. I actually want to see Tucker go for the ult here. That would be disgusting. He got like 4 people right now.
I'm sure he's got his finger right over the trigger here, too. As soon as it gets spotted, although a good flash to engage here, and Tucker's not even going to get a chance to bring out that ultimate, let alone use it here. Just a 1-for-1 exchange. Important that he does get that. It gives time for TCAP to wall off the garden push. The entry on the inside of Hookah has also been denied for the most part here. So they'll be able to stop that from pushing itself forward. The drone makes it pretty deep into the site, though, so it's going to get a good amount of intel in terms of what the setup looks like for the defenders in there currently, but also with the hand already being shown, especially at long. Come on, take the shot, take the shot. Not gonna happen here for TCAP. Yeah. Of course, obviously he doesn't see the outline, so he doesn't know. But
I feel like a lot of people sit there. I mean, that should just be one of those
this has happened like 3 different times today.
Yeah.
Where someone's had this angle pre-lined up and they just haven't taken the shot.
Oh my god, like, please, just press M1, dude. Like, despite it all, I don't think the drone actually spotted TCAP here, but they're still card checking him anyway, but Aura will eventually clean up all the pistol players. Sugoi gets in on a bit of the action, but as we expected, a bit of a slaughter.
Yeah, the 1 kill against the Rays at least, but Rebo doesn't even really have anything to save here. I think he's just gonna go check long, see if there's any guns on the ground. There should be at least 1 to 2 there that he can take.
Yeah, they're pinging it.
And even that's not going to be possible. Just a outright shutdown anti-eco here. Not that you would expect anything else to come in on this round.
Yeah, and they took it incredibly slow as well. I mean, I know they were looking for that kind of opportunity. They were not treating it as a bit of throwaway, anything of the sort. But, you know, despite their best efforts to play it slow, try to run out the clock and make the defender sweat a little bit, Spot Up still takes the lead. And because of that fact alone, they're only, what is it, 3 away? 4 away? I don't know how to do math. Yeah, exactly. Math is hard. But apparently finding these rounds proves to be a little bit tougher. Again, the buy will come through from the attackers, but it's kind of anybody's game at this point.
Figment still holding that aggressive angle on the inside of Showers. He does hold himself back from outright pushing it, though. The Phantom versus Operator duel is probably not going to go into his favor, so better to wait till that duel is at a bit of a closer range before he's forced to take it. And so in the meantime, we'll more than likely have free access to Showers and Bath there for the players on the attacking side. Aura, in the meanwhile, you're still holding over towards B with Tucker, as the players on Spot Up look to try and not only claim the lead as they did in the last round, but start to push it forward, as he said, for those last 4 rounds. Tucker going to bring out the showstopper early this time, denies the push from Jackie Boy, and does some great damage onto their opponent's Raze as well to bring her down to about 5 to 10 HP.
303, I mean, they have so many ultimates to play with, and the fact that already one of them is taken out just before they really have the chance to find anybody kind of hurts. They've been playing these rounds incredibly slow and don't have much to show for it. They'll eventually contact up over through A, and Figment is going to be doing a little bit of a dance, doing the safety dance, I suppose you can say. But it's going to be anything but safe as they walk into Figment's crosshairs. He will find 3 somehow. Absolutely disgusting from the man himself. And because of that, 303, they got to save.
That's after the shot went out to deny the intel dart as well that he had fired. So no one able to catch on to the very minuscule sound cue that would have come out from that. They were too busy prepping up. So he's allowed to push from the short corner, the close corner, pick up that massive streak of kills. As you said, no choice left here for Rebo, but to fall back and save as the defenders shut things down with that beautiful play from just outside of Showers. 8 to 10. Now going to be the scoreline, as indeed we've got Spot Up really starting to establish a lead for themselves.
Starting to run with it. Oh, wait. Wow. Starting to run away with it to a scary degree. I honestly thought the buy would be a little bit better for the attackers, considering everything that just went down in that last time, but no, I mean, they're still stuck on shares. This is like one of the few saves I think we'll have to see for a while. I was expecting the buy to be way better. I don't understand.
They forced this too because there's at least you can see the Spectre on the raise, so
It'd be a lot easier to tell if we had the scoreboard, wouldn't it? But
it actually looks like just like a half buy judging from the credit amounts, but yeah, as you said, it's hard to tell without the scoreboard, unfortunately.
Bomb buddy out.
hard to get a read on it as a result, but it doesn't matter still. Nonetheless, it seems that, again, it's anybody's game. It's anybody's round at any given situation, as we've seen a couple of moments where force-ups have still concluded into amazing rounds. Still 3 ultimates remain on the attacker's side. 303, they have to be thinking about using them. But I'm not sure if Jackie Boy wants to actually use them as ult. He knows exactly where this operator is located. Despite the molly and the nade combo coming out, it's actually going to be the bullets to finish up the job. That is exactly what the doctor ordered here. 303, they have to go ahead, try to extend upon this if they so possibly can, but they're struggling to get outside the window. They're struggling to get into the elbow, and they're struggling to make anything work whatsoever. 38 seconds and another one falls. The monuments are falling left, right, and center. And, I mean, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, excuse me, until Mirari is the next one to fall as well.
Gonna try to take a duel from outside of hookah, but even that will not go their direction. Of solid defense being put up once again here by the spot up roster. They're gonna be sitting on 11 rounds now, just 2 more away from victory in the semifinal and a spot in our grand final for the day as well, getting them that much closer to the qualification for the Pro Cup at the end of the month.
That goes there.
Spot in the grand finals is already that guarantee. So yeah, 2 away from actually, or yeah, 2 away from doing it. Trust me, I know how to do math. I was worried for a second, but I mean, that's a lot just on the line. I know, right? Observing and casting and a bit of a mess, but still. Again, nonetheless, despite all the issues, Valorant still stands, and still Spot Up are looking so strong, despite all the contention that's been at their way. We're even going to go ahead and try to spice things up here. You see Mirari's playing close with an op. This incredibly dangerous, but I actually think it could work out in their favor. Smokes are coming through onto the site, and I don't think the defense are exactly well enough equipped to make anything out of this. Figment will already toss down his power zone, spotting 2 players, the ultimate being committed as well, and here comes the push.
Ferrari's going to start things off well with the pick on Buddy that'll open up a lamps push. Figment's trying to play close to the smoke in hopes that someone oversteps their bounds. Hit him on the plant right here. The sprite's a little bit too high to find it, though. He needs to bring it down lower. The damage started connecting, but it didn't end up mattering. Figment has to fall back behind the truck. The plant will go down. Jackie Boy confirmed the pick onto Tucker, which I think he died closer on the wrap here. R and Figment, though, start things off on the retake, and they reopen that possibility. All of a sudden, the attacking team down to just 1. Stealthy's alone. They'll be able to line up 1 more against TCAP, but that's the end of it. It's now going to be 12-8 in the favor of Spot Up. Only 1 more round away from Pro Cup qualification and a spot in our grand finals.
Inching closer and closer to it. Incredible round from Figment. It was looking so good for 303. It just kind of, it quite honestly sucks that they had to lose it to that. They had a lot of amazing things going for them off of that initial execute, but they just have to account for the Figment factor, you know? Just off of that alone, Spot Up are looking fantastic.
It's also, you know, you reflect back on Figment to the very good judgment call he made to after the spray was whiffed onto the planter to just fall back instead of trying to get the reload off and then recommit to that. Obviously, if he does that, we don't have the later lamps push, which allows not only him to go back into the site, but his teammate to go back in. So it's a very good thing he made the smart choice to sit back there and play with his teammate later on in the round instead of trying to go for something early and potentially end up dying just to a one-on-one trade.
I know exactly.
Still, despite it all though, 303 backs against the wall. They have found that first kill, but Blue, do you think this is actually enough to make anything work? Oh, maybe Reba actually has a chance now that I think about it, now that I look at it.
Yeah, the good news is that Revo's managed to get himself super far forward. The one thing they'll have to account for is going to still be that Sova that's going to try to wrap on them. It looks like they've already got somebody watching for that, though, considering that Figment's made this play multiple times. Yeah, the Jackie Boy is going to be able to shut that one down. So great reads by 303. They definitely have a good lock on the general setup coming in from Spot Up as they're able to line up on that one. But Tucker's going to get rezzed back up. This was looking like they were actually just doing that to save his gun at first, but it looks like they're going to bring him back in and actually attempt the retake now since, hey, they can end the game if they can do it here, so let's give it a shot.
Yeah, I don't think this is a right call whatsoever here. 3v5 and already a decent amount of time burned off the clock. Sure, it's still slow ticking, but that is soon going to go ahead and up the pace even more. The attackers have already bunkered their way onto the site. Sauceton is just able to have a day at the shooting range whenever he wishes. Sugoi gonna go ahead and fall like the rest of his comrades, at least. I was hoping he'd at least try to save the AWP, or the OP. Still, I'm so used to CS terminology, but
It's all good.
again, spot up. I'm not sure if they actually should have went for that, but I guess it doesn't matter. They have a nice little buffer to work with, and I think off of that alone, they should still be able to close it out if they continue with at least half the form that they've been showing this entire match.
Yeah, ultimately, though, if we do start to see rounds for 303 continue to trickle up, it's going to become a very bad thing that they choose to do this very quickly, though, when you consider, as you had already brought up, the economical fallbacks that happen as a result of losing that many players instead of just saving the 3 of them. Not to mention that they used their ultimate, the res there, and really didn't get much out of it at the end of the day.
Something to keep an eye on here is that Tucker has actually managed to pick up the showstopper after the wall has been committed early on, and I'm not exactly a fan of committing the wall early on. It's one of the best abilities in the game for a reason, but I actually think that was probably one of the wisest moves they could have done, because Tucker having that ultimate, it's an absolute game changer. And it might be just enough to find this 13th round. Or perhaps it could just come down to the straight up gunfights here, as it seems that they're going to be finishing up over towards A. Blue, I think you need to take it away, because this is going to be an absolute slobber knocker.
Bunny more than likely going to take first contact as the push is getting ready to work its way out. You can see the flash is primed from their Phoenix, ready to roll in now. Close quarter player is initially not checked. Figment almost had an opportunity to line one up. Doesn't end up happening. It's a free kill for Sauceton. Great control being exercised, but Bunny from the inside of Lamps goes 2 for 1. That'll bring this back down into an even fight. No spike plant just yet either. They wanted to focus on the clear instead of going right for the plant to start the timer. So plenty of time given to spot up to get themselves over to the site and open up the possibility of a retake. They've got pretty much the whole clock to work off of. The problem is they don't have that player inside of the backside over here by Showers or somewhere else that can act as another flank. The good news for them is that their opponents were expecting that. So they do have a lot of players off site. A nice juke there made. Oh, and Sauceton not only makes Tucker whip his own showstopper, but then gets his own use out of that and is able to find the trade back. Oh, very well played there from Sauceton.
I love that from Sauceton. He's having a fantastic game individually, I'd like to mention as well. 25 to his name, and it's counting because they're still in this one, 303. I thought they had kind of given up the ghost, but they're starting to fight back. It's 2 solid rounds in a row, decent enough conversions, actual, cojones shown during the pushes themselves, and it's working out for them. This is exactly what they needed, and they're meeting all the check boxes. They're ticking all of them, and they're actually getting incredible results just because of that alone. But it's not over yet.
Jackie Boy with the flash to the inside. Not going to necessarily need that due to the Boombot having just cleared it out. And they'll end up walking right into TCAP's crosshair. Not only that, but you still have Tucker with a close hold. First time in at least 2 to 3 rounds now that we've gone back to our defenders here on spot up, finding that opening pick. Players on 303 definitely a little bit wary of the fact that that just occurred. They're going to completely fall off their take on Hookah. The defender's raise has already picked up on this. Tucker gets a lot of info here as he's crawled out through mid, as the rest of the attackers here for 303 are getting primed for that A execute yet again.
This is where it's really going to hurt to not have a Sage. There's no res possibility, so no run it back. They're going to have to do this execute with everything that they have left. Sure, they're going to be committing their ultimates, but is it good enough to get the job done? Stealthy seems to think so, but I don't think it's going to be nearly good enough here. The gunfights are just overwhelmingly in favor, what seems like, for the attackers in recent times, but they haven't accounted for Aura just yet, who's in quickly on the backline and takes down Stealthy. Now it's all up to Rebo against 2 members, and he hasn't a clue on where either of them are.
Trying to play this off to the angle so that he doesn't reveal himself to heaven. It's a good thing he shifted to that position as well. Tucker was about to get it. Here comes the neural theft. It's going to reveal Rebo on the inside of Showers. He gets out. He wants to take the fight. A cage is going to be thrown against him. He counters it with one of his own to try and stop the plant, but no, not going to happen. Tucker finds him inside of the cage. Plenty of time left with a defuse for Aura. And with that, we will finally see the closeout from Spot Up. Nearly lost it and took things to OT. They will indeed round it back, taking control at 13-10 as our final score.
I think that match delivered on almost every front that you could hope for. There was pretty great plays. The ops, I feel like, were just incredible through and through, and